They are America's most elite warriors, trained to fight on sea, in air, and on land. Known for their toughness, secrecy, and incredible discipline, the Navy SEALs have become legendary across the world. But how did they begin? And what makes them different from every other military force? The story of the Navy SEALs begins long before the name SEAL was ever used. During World War II, the United States faced a massive challenge: invading enemy-held beaches. Before a single soldier could land, obstacles had to be cleared, mines removed, and defenses mapped out. For that dangerous job, the U.S. created specialized units called Naval Combat Demolition Units and frogmen. These frogmen were the first generation of what would eventually become the SEALs. They swam ashore ahead of invasions, using little more than fins, masks, and explosives to blow gaps in enemy defenses. They were there at D-Day in Normandy, at Iwo Jima in the Pacific, and on countless other beaches. Their missions were quiet, often unrecognized, but vital to Allied success. After the war, these units evolved into underwater demolition teams, or UDTs. During the Korean War, UDTs carried out reconnaissance missions, destroyed railroad tunnels, and even operated in freezing waters to sabotage enemy supply lines. The idea of a small, specialized force capable of operating in extreme conditions was proving itself again and again. But it was during the 1960s, in the shadow of the Cold War, that the Navy SEALs as we know them today were officially born. President John F. Kennedy saw the growing need for unconventional forces that could fight guerrilla wars, carry out reconnaissance, and strike deep behind enemy lines. In 1962, he gave the order to create the Navy SEALs, sea, air, and land teams. The name itself reflected their mission: to operate anywhere, under any conditions. Almost immediately, the SEALs were tested in the jungles of Vietnam. They carried out reconnaissance missions, disrupted enemy supply lines, and trained local forces. Their hit-and-run tactics earned them the nickname Men with Green Faces, because they often painted themselves for night operations. Vietnam solidified the SEALs' reputation as a force that could adapt to any battlefield. Training for the SEALs became just as legendary as their missions. Every SEAL must endure BUD/S, Basic Underwater Demolition/SEAL Training. It lasts 6 months, and it is considered one of the most grueling military courses in the world. Candidates face long runs in soft sand, cold ocean swims, endless push-ups, and obstacle courses designed to break even the toughest. And then comes Hell Week, 5 days of almost no sleep, constant physical training, and relentless mental pressure. The goal isn't just to test strength, but to weed out anyone who lacks the mindset to endure. Of the hundreds who start, only a fraction finish. Those who make it become part of a brotherhood. The SEALs are divided into teams, each with its own history and specialization. SEAL Team 1 and Team 2 were the first, created in 1962. Over time, more teams were added, with SEAL Team 6, now known as DEV Group, the Naval Special Warfare Development Group, becoming the most secretive and elite, often tasked with counterterrorism and high-risk operations. The SEALs have played key roles in countless missions. In 1989, during the U.S. invasion of Panama, SEALs were tasked with disabling dictator Manuel Noriega's private jet to prevent his escape. In the Gulf War, they scouted and marked beach landing zones for the Marines. In Afghanistan and Iraq, SEALs hunted high-value targets, trained local forces, and carried out raids deep in enemy territory. Perhaps the most famous mission in modern times was Operation Neptune Spear in 2011. SEAL Team 6 launched a nighttime raid into Abbottabad, Pakistan, and killed Osama bin Laden, the leader of Al-Qaeda and mastermind of the September 11th attacks. The operation was a culmination of years of training, planning, and discipline, a perfect example of what makes the Navy SEALs so unique. But the SEALs aren't just about high-profile missions. They are also about adaptability. Their motto is "The only easy day was yesterday," a reminder that the challenges never stop. They train constantly, parachuting from high altitudes, diving in the darkest waters, practicing urban warfare, and mastering survival in every environment imaginable. So what makes a Navy SEAL different? It isn't just strength or skill. It's mindset. SEALs are taught never to quit, no matter how difficult the mission or how overwhelming the odds. They are problem solvers, thinkers, and fighters rolled into one. They are trained to expect the unexpected, to be ready for anything. Today, there are only a few thousand active duty SEALs. They remain one of the most selective forces in the U.S. military. Their missions are often secret, their names unknown, but their reputation speaks for itself. From the beaches of Normandy to the deserts of the Middle East, the Navy SEALs have proven themselves again and again as one of the most elite fighting forces in the world. The story of the SEALs is still being written. As warfare evolves, so will they. But their legacy, born from the frogmen of World War II, tested in Vietnam, and refined through decades of training and sacrifice, will endure. And that is how the Navy SEALs began, how they became legends, and why their story continues to inspire.